Alright guys, this is going to be a video on how I swapped the CTS-V Recaro seats into my 2012 Regal GS. So up here is the front mounts of the seat, and what I had to do was, first off, on the inboard side over there, those ones just slide right into the slots on the floor. Over here, what you have to do is there is a mount right here. You have to grind off the rivets of this mount, and there is a mounting hole, and all you do is slide it inboard to the mounting hole, and you can bolt it down and drill a new hole back here for a second bolt to go in. And then all I had to do was just cut the hook a little bit, just a slight amount, maybe 1/8 of an inch, so that way the seat is completely parallel with the front of the car. And that's really all you have to do for the front. It's not that hard. It is actually pretty easy. All you really need is a cutting wheel, and you can do this. And if you are going to use bolts, make sure you use grade 8 or higher. Okay, now in the rear on the outboard side, all I really had to do was extend the hole in the seat track a little bit forward, and then I was actually able to use the stock bolt in order to mount it to the car. And I'm not sure if you can see that, but below here, let me try to focus this. There are some washers in there that I had to use in order to shim the rear up because of the inboard mount, which you'll see in a few moments. So that is what I did. I think I used 5 or 6 washers, and it's been working great. The seat is nice and level. So that's really all you have to do for the right mount, and you're actually able to use the same mounting hole. Make sure you use thread lock. All right, so here's the inboard side. It's a little ugly, but you really can't see it once the seat is back in the proper, seating position for your passenger or for yourself. So it's hidden unless you have the seat all the way forward. So how we did this was, this seat track is actually about 1/2 inch narrower than the Buick Regal seat track. So what we had to do in order to use the mounting hole that is already in the car, because that's the strongest position for it to be, instead of drilling a new hole and using a weak rivet nut, it was just a lot easier and stronger to do it this way. So we got a piece of metal, I believe it's about 1/4 inch thick, of steel, and about 2.5 inches wide and maybe about 4 inches long. We drilled holes in here and here, and the seat track already has a hole available for you to use. So we did that, and we were able to mount that to the seat track. Next, what we had to do was we had to cut here and here in order for the bolt to go into the factory mounting location. So really all you have to do is just, measure twice and cut once, and then you're able to mount the inboard side of the seat in. And this is going to be the same for the driver's side. Inboard side, you want to do the same thing. Outboard side, you want to do the same thing over here. That way it's nice and symmetrical, and you already know exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So I've had these seats in for about a week now, both of them, and they are very nice. I really like the adjustable torso and thigh bolsters. Right here, this one controls the torso, and this one controls the thigh. This is for your lumbar support, and then you have your, forward, back, tilt, and recline functions right here. And then you also have an adjustable thigh rest right here too. Unfortunately, I was not able to get the car HVAC module to interface with the heated seat. So my plan for that is to get an aftermarket heated seat kit and have the controls actually on the seat. That way it just bypasses the car's heated seat controls, and it'll just be nice and simple. I'll have to hook that up to ignition power. That way, in case my passenger or myself leave it on, the battery doesn't die. And then same thing for the cooling function. I was not able to get those to work with providing power and ground to the fans. There's a third wire for the speed control, and I think that has something to do with it. So what I have planned for that is to replace the fans with regular 2-wire fans. And then that way I can just provide power and ground to them with another switch right here. And then that way you don't have to deal with any sort of modules, anything like that. All it is the fans, simple switch, power and ground. They'll be at full power when the switch is activated. And then same thing, hook it up to ignition power. That way it doesn't kill the battery if you leave them on when you leave the car. They do a very good job of holding you in when you're going around corners. This is a suede or Alcantara type material. So yeah, I paid $1,400 for these seats. I think it was well worth it. And if you need the wiring, feel free to shoot me an email and I can send that over to you. Wiring it up was actually quite easy. The only negative that I have right now is the passenger airbag does not seem to turn on. I think this module may have to be programmed to the car for the passenger presence sensor. I'm not entirely sure. But luckily I don't have a passenger 99% of the time anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal, I think. All right, well, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message or leave a comment, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Have a great day.